Hi! Alright, so it is time for another video. So this particular journal is a journal that was sent to me by not an imp, by the imp. Her initials are IMP, so she is quite literally imp. So, Isla, thank you so very much for sending this to me. I love this little journal. It's got all of these pages that are already painted, so I just kind of need to build on them. And as you can see, I put some washi tape down and then gesso in the middle because I didn't want to cover that background. And then when I pulled away the tape, because I had heated it, it stuck to the paint, so it peeled away the paint. So that's why this is going so very slowly. And this is sped up 2.5 times. So imagine how slowly I pulled that side away. So I'm just going to make this little strip a little bit thicker, which it ends up working out. And I'm using golden gesso with this. It's my favorite. I really like the golden gesso. It's the best. So I decided to use a piece of paper this time so it didn't stick to the paint behind it. And this entire journal, I believe she told me it was made out of calendars and or junk mail, which I love because, as you guys know, I have a journal out there on YouTube that I made using only junk mail. It was a flyer that I got in the mail. So you don't have to go out and spend hundreds of dollars on, really expensive art supplies. Some cheap paint, a little bit of gesso, some, decent brushes. $30 later, you've got enough to make an art journal. So, yeah. It's awesome. It's good stuff. So she sent this to me and she's like, have you worked in it? And I was still kind of in my funk and not really wanting to art or anything. I'm like, no, but I really want to. And she's like, so do it. I'm like, okay. I'm a pushover sometimes. So I got this out and I really love the background. It's kind of this pretty brocade kind of pattern, or I don't know what. Yeah, I guess I'd call it. It almost looks like it could be on a brocade. So it reminds me of a painting that I had downstairs in my bathroom. It's one of my favorite replicas in my house. It's a painting by Claudia Ancelotti, and it's got this really pretty big white flower on it, and I love it. But so I wanted to use that as inspiration to create this kind of grid, and had I really used it as inspiration, I would have done like a big piece over it, but I wanted to keep this page simple, and I did. So first I started with a big rectangle of gray right in the middle, and it's just an Artist Loft cheap gray, and I want to say this is also an Artist Loft, and this is just a nice beige color, pretty sandy color. And what I loved about that painting that I have downstairs, our bathroom is all done in black and stainless steel, and so the shower curtain's black, and it's really modern and cool. But it's also got the warm tones of the beige in it, with the kind of stainless steel in the picture color, and then some black. So it's really pretty. I love it all put together. So I decided to do that here. So I wasn't digging that gray. It just looked like a dead porpoise. And I'm cool with dead porpoise colors on my page if the dead porpoise has a purpose. And this dead porpoise did not have a purpose. It was a dead porpoise that was purposeless. So as you can see, this is a golden coarse stainless steel coarse, and it's making it super shiny. So I held it up so you guys could see how shiny it changes the whole dynamic of that color. It's quite awesome. So, but I wanted that base layer because this stainless steel course isn't completely opaque, so I didn't want white poking through. I wanted a nice dark background so that could stand against that. And I'm just using I think this is a little angle brush, or maybe it's a flat brush. Yeah, flat brush. So, sorry, my watch keeps going off. I got my birthday's next month, and I swindled a Apple Watch out of Jennifer. So yeah, she said I'm spoiled. She's right. And by the way, if you are thinking about getting an Apple Watch, you probably should, because it's good stuff. I like it, especially for the type of work I do. It's yeah, it's been invaluable thus far. So I am using a little bit of burnt sienna, I believe, and or maybe it's burnt umber, raw sienna, La Cienega Boulevard, Sienna Miller. I don't know. I don't know what color it is. And I just put a little bit of glazing fluid in it. I wanted to kind of stain the edges to make it look antiqued. So I thought, oh, we'll try this with acrylic, because normally I use pencil or something and something water soluble and then fade it out. So I was like, well, let's try just kind of staining the page. And as you can see, when I wiped it away, it was like, oh, wah wah. Didn't like it. So, but when I did that, I really liked how it warmed up that beige color a little bit. So I went in with my baby wipe and did add a little bit, and as you can see, it did stain it just a hair. So I decided to go with my tried and true method of doing this, which is by using my Stabilo All Pencil. This is a brown Stabilo All Pencil. And I'm just going right around the sides, and then I'm going to use a little tiny paintbrush and fan it more toward the center. So let's see, what else? I told you about my birthday present. Oh, so yeah, Jen's taking me to go see my favorite drag queen, too, which, holla, can't wait. I was thinking about going in drag, which, yeah. 6'4" man and with a beard, that would have been a funny sight. I recently did not get some great news about my knees, so I'm pretty sure the drag is out because I can't wear heels, and if you can't wear heels, well, then you're not doing drag. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I might get closer and just say, forget it. Let's go. Because I do have a pair of flats. Don't judge me. Don't you judge me. And if you judge me, that's fine. Dislike this video, because then it's still engagement and I get paid, and bleh. So anyway, so I decided I really wanted some nice dark edges around this, just to make it pop, this center panel pop up from the background. And in order to do that, I am using a black Aqua Monolith water-soluble pencil. These are awesome. They feel really good in your hand. They feel really sturdy, and they just feel meaty. You have to pick one up and feel it to know what I'm talking about, but it feels so good in your hand. And the black is super black compared to the very light black of the Stabilo All Pencil, which I still like my Stabilo All Pencil, but the black on this is so different than the Stabilo. So right now you see, as I'm wetting it, it's getting extremely dark, and it's not moving around that much. I will end up using a Stabilo All Pencil in black on this page, and you'll see that there's a big difference. In order to keep the Stabilo All Pencil this dark, you have to move it very little with your paintbrush, or whatever it is you're using to smudge it out. You don't really have to worry about it so much with the Aqua Monolith. It's extremely, extremely pigmented. So this may be one of my new favorite go-to pencils. So speaking of favorites, this is my Uniball Signo white marker pen thing. Sorry. And it's a pen. It's a gel pen. And I am just writing on that background. I wanted to mute back that design just a little bit, and I wanted a spot to journal, because a lot of times I focus on the design of my journal, which is good because I use my art journal to experiment for art, but every once in a while I do use it for feelings, and I want to get something down or out of my head. So that's what I did here. And it worked well because it kind of muted that background, and it even pushed that background a little bit further into the background behind that center panel. So I thought that worked out nicely. And okay, so this is where I kind of start to embellish. I wanted to get something really big that would spread over that center panel and wouldn't just be stuck in the center. But then I found that little bird, and I was like, oh, it's a little Tim Holtz bird, and I wanted to use him because I like the symbolism of birds, freedom, and their life. Like if you open your windows and you kind of think of like experiencing life, it's you hear birds singing in the trees and wind, and so I like that. Even though bird feet still terrify me, and they're not right. Still not right. If you haven't seen any of my bird rants, there are bird rants out there, and I still hate them. So uh, so this is the Stabilo all pencil, and I'm going right around the edge. I wanted to frame this page in a little bit with some black, and as you can see, you can kind of barely see the black. It does get a little bit darker when you add the water to it, but it also, if you look at that tan right there, it's much, much lighter than the aqua monolith. So this is kind of a good comparison. I think they're both useful. I think they both have their purposes. But if you're looking for that really striking dark black, that kind of jet black, I would say grab for the aqua monolith. If you can only pick up one, I would pick up the aqua monolith. But if you are kind of on a budget, because I think the aqua monoliths are like $3 or $4 a piece, the Stabilo all pencil won't treat you wrong. You may just have to work a little bit harder to get it nice and deep and intense. But I still love them both. So went right around the edges. And did I mention how cool this little journal is? Like the whole thing is paper. She made the whole thing out of paper. She's hand stitched all the pages together with like a cording kind of material, and I'm doing that same black right down the edge. So thank you again so much, Isla, for this this little journal. I can't wait to make more pages in it. So this is pretty much the end of the process. So I hope you guys like this video, and I have a promise: 2 videos, 2 weeks, 1 video 2 weeks in a row. You're welcome. So yeah, hopefully I can keep the momentum going and keep going a video each week. So we'll see. In the meantime, bye.